Kirby, how has practice been so far this week?
Been great. Thank you for asking.
I meant to ask yesterday, Javon was limping pretty good out of the post-game locker room on Saturday. How did he come out of that game? How's he look this week?
Unscathed, sore, had a long game, had not had that much running physicality and use in 2 weeks, whatever it was, 14 days. You get sore when you don't do anything for that long, and then you go do that much. It's just typically what your body does. But he's been good. He recovered Sunday, Monday. He was great, and we had a lighter day Monday, and then got after today, and he seemed good today.
Coach, just how multiple are they in the run game, and how do you go about preparing your guys for a variety of looks that they're going to get into, just in terms of a difference in runs?
Well, I mean, you go against our offense, who runs some of the same runs they do. It's very pro-style based in terms of what they do run game wise. They do a tremendous job of, they put window dressing around all their runs. They have really good people blocking it. They have very experienced tight ends on the edges. I mean, they got kids that have been there for 2 and 3 years blocking on the perimeter. They got a great back. So they got a great run system that has all the ingredients to be excellent when you have a physical offensive line, a head coach and an offensive coordinator committed to running it, a great back, several great backs, and then they have weapons outside. So they are a very talented group, and got a lot of guys who've played a lot of football in the SEC in that group.
Yeah, Kirby, you've alluded a couple times to the pressure periods in practice and Peyton wanting more of those pressure periods. Just what do those periods look like, and how do you try to simulate the pressure of like the kicks he had the other day on the road to take a lead at Auburn?
Yeah, I won't get into the details of them. I think that's more private for our team. But I do think it's great for the team morale and great for him. And you can't simulate what he had the other day at Auburn. I mean, you just try to. So we try to put him in a thought process where he has to come off the sideline and he's got one shot. It's different than kicking 5 field goals in a row because it's 3 for 5, 4 for 5. You feel like you got another shot. It doesn't feel that way in a game. So we do it that way more in the practice.
Yeah, just what have you seen out of Jalen Walker this season as he continues to try to develop as an inside linebacker? We're also playing sort of that edge role and pressure packages for you guys.
Yeah, he's growing at 2 positions. It's exactly what we talked to him about when we recruited him and some of these other inside backers is that, a lot of kids don't play high school inside backer. Their coaches put them on the edge so they can defend the grass, or they put them at the edge so they can run and set edges. They don't get to play inside backer because there's probably another kid on their team that can play that. So his skill set has grown because he's very natural on the edge. It's a rusher and get off, and he has some of the best pass rush moves in our group. So, but he needs to be able to play all down, so he's continuing to work at inside backer. And the beauty of Jalen is he goes down and takes reps, against our offense and reads keys and gets better at that position while at the same time being a dominant special teams player and a great third down player for us.
Kirby, how similar is Stoops and how he builds his teams to the way you build your teams?
Well, I only know by the way it looks because I've never talked to him about it. I don't know philosophically if they have a certain number of like this position and that position, and I don't know enough about how he builds his team to answer that fairly. I would think that they're close, but I don't know that. I know that they play really physical, and our kids always feel like it's one of the most physical games of the year. Just the size they have, the way they play the game. The game really shrinks when you play them. The clock's running. I mean, we had a drive in 21 here that was the longest drive I've ever seen. So I would think that we both build them in a similar way, but I can't say how he builds his.
Sorry, bring up slow starts again. I mean, 17 points in the first quarter. Is that something that you feel like you need to address? Like, we've got to get it going faster, or is it just a fluke of circumstances? And things, and possessions have been pretty low in the first quarter as well.
Yeah, I would start with absolutely we need to improve it. But, we look at everything. And, I think we went 3 and out one time on offense. Every other time we've moved the ball, which that's what you want to do. Obviously you want to score, but you want to move the ball so you can create field position. On defense, we've gone 3 and out maybe once or twice. We did last week. So it's not the first possession, but it is the first quarter, and some of that has been circumstance of missing a field goal. Some of that has been circumstances of we defer, so if we win the toss, we never get that extra possession in the first quarter because they get it. But those are all just excuses. I mean, we got to play better. There's a lot of reasons why it happens. I've been years where, you score every first possession and you stop them every time, and then for a while we were like we couldn't get it started in third quarter. We could never get any momentum going in the third quarter, and we were awful in the third quarter. One of the years we won a national championship, but it's something you try to address and think about the way you start the game, but don't overthink it because we're trying to plan for the whole game.
Coach, I could be completely wrong here, but I think you and Florida are pretty relatively similar schematically. When you study that, how much can you have an opportunity to learn from that, what Kentucky had success against them, and how much of that was Kentucky beating Florida or Kentucky stressing what they do schematically?
I'm assuming you're talking about Florida's defense. Yeah, I mean, there's some similarity there. I don't exactly know what they're doing in some situations. I mean, it's not complete overlap like some defenses I've seen before where we're like married up exactly the same. I don't think it's exactly the same, but at the end of the day, Kentucky played physical. They had explosive plays. They got some turnovers. They started really fast, and once a back gets hot and gets rolling, he got really hot and started rolling, and he was hard to tackle. So it doesn't matter what defense you play. It's not about schemes. It's about striking blockers and getting off blocks and tackling. We're not out there practicing schemes right now. We're out there trying to strike a block and get off a block.
Kirby, you guys are playing your first ranked opponent this week. There's 3 other ranked opponents on the schedule upcoming. Some are knocking the schedule. What do you make of the SEC teams that seem to be on the rise?
I don't know who you're referencing.
You got Missouri, you got Tennessee, and Ole Miss. The other teams that are on the schedule.
I personally think every SEC team should be ranked. I guarantee you there's some teams that don't want to play them that are ranked. I mean, I literally have no idea what you're referencing because every team we play in the SEC is good enough to beat us. And whether they're ranked or not, I could care less. I'm trying to be more physical than them and outscore them. And the only thing I'm concerned with, not their ranking.
Kirby, you said on Saturday that there's not a ton of separation in anybody in college football. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I haven't watched everybody, so it's hard for me to say. I just feel like there's a lot more parity out there, and I don't know why it is. I don't think anybody's as good as they were 3-4 years ago. I watched games of 3-4 years ago. I don't think high school football is as good as it was 3 or 4 years ago. I think less kids are playing football. The quality of the football that's played is a little less. There's at the grassroots level, the teaching of it. Less people played football that are coaching it. So when you struggle to find officials because people didn't play and they don't want to officiate and they have to rotate high school games because they don't have enough officials, and when you can't find coaches to coach youth organizations and they didn't play, the quality of the sport goes down a little bit. It deteriorates, and I've been able to see that. There's just less people playing too. So, but that's more saying that it's a sloppier game than it is a finesse game or a power game. That doesn't explain why there's more parity.
Yeah, what have you seen out of the first 2 practices from Kendall and Ladd as they continue to sort of overcome and deal with their injuries?
Yeah, they've been great. We didn't do a whole lot Monday. We scaled back what our typical Mondays were and got after it today, and they were great.
The reason you scaled back Monday because you're anticipating more physical games Saturday.
No, it's going to be physical, but that's our 5th week. After our 5th week, so the 6th week, we we do that to try to recover a little better. We want to give 48 hours recovery if we can, so we had Sunday and some of Monday to help them get their legs back.
Coach, sticking on that theme, haven't asked you about Ingram Dawkins lately. How's he been doing?
He's still the same deal. We're on non-weight bearing, waiting for some pictures to come back, and we had a 4-week shutdown, and then after 5 weeks we'll take another picture, see where it's at, and decide whether or not we can ramp up.
Kirby, what kind of growth have you seen from Brett Thorson in his second year in the program, and just how far he's come since he first got here?
Just more confident. I think more than anything, he's more confident and easy. He's social. You know, he came from a long way away, and coming to a new place like Athens. I mean, the guy flew in here, and the day he got here, we were leaving to go wherever we were going for maybe the national championship, and he's like, you know, hey, it's my new family, and just everybody's leaving, they're gone, and he's enjoyed Athens a lot. He's a very interesting character. You guys will enjoy him. He's got a great personality, and he's just so different than our guys, just from where he's from, that he thinks different. So I enjoy him. I just stay out of his way.
Did Brock and Gunner give you good QB run looks in practice, and does Devin Leary have that capability?
Yeah, he's got the capability for sure. They've done some quarterback run looks with him, and they did some last year against us as well. But I mean, Brock and Gunner don't run them on quarterback runs in practice, you know, because it does us no good if we can't hit them, you know, and we're not going to hit those guys, so we have other guys do it.
So going back to your question about less people playing football, and obviously being a coach, you're around it a lot, but what kind of value just in life in general, not necessarily even to, you know, guys that want to go play in the NFL or work in football full time, what kind of benefit is there to playing the game of football?
Yeah, well, there's two things that football and life have in common. They're hard. And I don't know how many of you guys have put on 30 pounds of equipment and pants and a shirt and gone out in 110-degree heat and practice for 2.5 hours. Not that makes you successful. That makes you willing to go out and work for something in life. Because if you're willing to do that and put a helmet on, you're probably not going to be afraid to, you know, go 9 to 5 and pay the bills. And the one thing I've learned in life is that life is hard. And football teaches a bunch of those lessons. So I think the sport is one of the great teachers of lessons of life.
If I'm not mistaken, your older twins don't play football. Obviously, he doesn't. But Andrew, we know he does. Is he a player? Do you feel like he carry on the Spartan tradition?
He's got a lot of his mom in him, so he's a good athlete, and all three of them are really good athletes. He likes football more than Julia and Weston do, but they all enjoy their social time and they all enjoy their sports.
Time for 2 more questions, anybody?
Thanks, guys.